Coming up on the rundown, Israel is preparing to take action as tensions rise. The FBI warns California of potential retaliation strikes from Iran. And an NYPD officer is being deemed a hero after taking down bomb suspect.
Welcome to the National Rundown, where we have all the latest news. I'm Alex Cruz.
And I'm Stephen Wolchensky.
Strikes between Israel and Israeli military issued an emergency notice to evacuate parts of Lebanon. This also includes Beirut. Yesterday, Hezbollah launched a dozen rockets towards Israel. According to the Israeli Defense Force, Israel responded by striking 10 Hezbollah facilities, including command centers and intelligence headquarters. Since March 2nd, Israel began issuing evacuation warnings concerning its airstrikes. The IDF said it had struck 10 facilities in Dahieh in 30 minutes. According to the Lebanese Health Ministry, 630 people have been killed and over 1,500 people were injured in Lebanon.
The FBI warns parts of California that Iran may retaliate by launching drones on the West Coast. The U.S. received intel that Iran planned an attack on the West Coast before U.S. and Israel launched their attack on Iran. California's Governor Gavin Newsom said the Governor's Office of Emergency Services is actively working with the state, local, and federal security officials to protect our communities. Former University of Kentucky student Laken Snelling was indicted on Monday. The Fayette County grand jury indicted Snelling on the charges of first-degree manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant.
We presented the case to the grand jury, and we let the grand jury decide where to go from there. And those are the appropriate charges that they believed should come from the grand jury.
More than 6 months after the initial phone call to Lexington police about an unresponsive infant, Laken Snelling was indicted Tuesday.
They were given the information about homicide, the 4 levels of homicide, and then deliberated and decided that manslaughter first degree was the charge that should come out of the grand jury.
Snelling's criminal case first began in August when she was arrested for abuse of a corpse and other related charges. The Commonwealth's Attorney's Office says Snelling hid the birth and put the baby's body in a closet inside a trash bag. Following the indictment, Baird says Snelling's next appearance in court or arraignment will likely come within the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's when she is expected to enter a plea and the case will move forward in the court system. Snelling is currently on house arrest in Tennessee. Amid public questions about the timing, Baird acknowledged the community's curiosity.
So I know that there has been a lot of speculation swirling about exactly what happened.
She explains that her office could not move forward until they had critical medical evidence.
And so we have to determine the cause of death in order to decide how we proceed. And so there was a lot of things that the medical examiner does before that autopsy report is officially released. So that was primarily the delay.
Reporting in Lexington, Jackson Plank, WKYT.
Coming up, a TSA worker seeks assistance after weeks without pay.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. a habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
An NYPD cop says that he had one thought in his mind when jumping over a barricade near a protest in the city on March 7th, and it was to catch the bad guy. NYPD Assistant Chief Aaron Edwards was photographed and praised for his actions after the lighting and throwing of homemade bombs. Amir Bala and Ibrahim Kayomi are facing terrorism charges. This all unfolded outside of Gracie Mansion, the home of Mayor Zoran Mandani. According to authorities, Bala and Kayomi were inspired by ISIS.
An accountant of Jeffrey Epstein says he did not know about the extent and nature of Epstein's abuse until after Epstein died. In Richard Kahn's opening statement to the House Oversight Committee, he said that he would have immediately quit his job if he learned about Epstein's behavior. According to CBS News, Kahn managed Epstein's finances and investments in his last years, as well as renovations on his island. This testimony is yet another one that features someone who had close connections with Epstein. Former President Bill Clinton spoke to Congress in late February, saying that he also didn't know of his crimes.
A TSA worker calls on local senators for help after 4 weeks of working without pay. Anthony Riley, who works with a Syracuse Hancock International Airport, said that he does not have any money to move. According to a TSA senior official, over 300 workers have quit since the Department of Homeland Security shut down in mid-February. While most workers are required to attend work even when they are not getting paid, they have missed one whole paycheck after getting half of one 2 weeks ago. More than 120 Democratic members of Congress are asking the Pentagon for detailed information about how the U.S. military is limiting civilian casualties in Iran. They are also looking at what a role artificial intelligence is playing in choosing targets. This comes after a U.S. strike on a school in Iran, killing over 170 people, with most of them being children. The U.S. military has said it is still investigating the strike.
When we come back, a fistfight in Georgia leads to the death of a 12-year-old child. Don't go anywhere.
I know you've been grinding. I know things aren't easy. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Love your mind.
We all deserve a place to call home. That's an American dream.
Welcome back. Now let's welcome to Logan Stewart to talk about the FBI's recent warning on the drone strikes in California. Hey Logan, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well, thank you. All right. So what are the warnings that the FBI issued about Iran recently?
Yeah, so with everything going on in the Middle East right now, Iran wants to retaliate by potentially striking the West Coast, California in particular. Officials aren't aware of where these strikes will exactly happen, but the warning is out there and they are unverified too. So it's basically a waiting game right now to see what happens.
Do authorities believe that there's an immediate threat right now?
They don't believe there's an immediate threat right now. Governor Gavin Newsom came out and said that there is no immediate threat, but he has everybody on standby just in case if something does happen.
And then how are the officials dealing with this warning?
All police in a lot of towns have been notified, especially in the big cities like Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, all those places, as well as more. And really the whole state is just prepared for anything at this point. Security is highly ramped up. But with Iran, they did say, or a report did say that they would strike from out in the Pacific Ocean into California with missile strikes. But it's really just a waiting game right now because all these reports are unverified.
All right. Thank you for your time, Logan.
Thank you
for joining us.
I appreciate it.
A 12-year-old girl was taken to a hospital and died days after she collapsed in the street following a fistfight near a school bus stop in her Georgia neighborhood. A police spokesman said that Wednesday night investigators are reviewing evidence, including cell phone video of the fight. Investigators are also waiting for autopsy results. The spokesperson said that police plan to meet later this week with prosecutors who will decide whether to press charges. A Sydney-based fashion designer is starting her own clothing company. The only obstacle in the way is her name, Katy Perry. Spelled an I and an E, as someone could confuse with singer Katy Perry. But on Wednesday, Australia's highest court ruled that Perry has the right to sell clothes under her own name. The case is finally coming to conclusion after 16 years, in a case that the singer brought. Outside groups are contributing over $5 million in hopes of unseating Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky. President Donald Trump called for Massie's defeat in the upcoming May primary. Congressman Ed Gowrine, who is facing Massie in the race, is backed by President Trump.
And now over to Leah for entertainment.
Oscar-nominated actor Timothée Chalamet receives backlash for his recently surfaced comments on both ballet and opera. During a 2019 interview with Matthew McConaughey at the University of Texas, the Marty Supreme star described the two creative styles as dying art forms that, quote, no one cares about anymore. His comments sparked online outrage, with critics arguing that both art forms are still very much alive. Although some ballet and opera companies found Chalamet's words disrespectful, others have used this as a business opportunity. The Seattle Opera House ran a campaign that urged users to use the code Timothy for discounted seats. In other celebrity news, a Florida woman faces charges in connection with last weekend's shooting outside of the Los Angeles home of music artist Rihanna. 35-year-old Ivana Lisette Ortiz was charged with 1 count of attempted murder, 10 counts of assault with the semi-automatic firearm, and 3 felony counts of shooting at an inhabited dwelling. On Sunday, Ortiz was reportedly armed with an AR-15 style weapon and fired several shots toward the singer's mansion. No injuries were reported, and it is still not clear if Rihanna or her family were present in the home at the time of the shooting. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, Ortiz is currently being held on a $10 million bail while awaiting her arraignment. In the world of movies, the annual Oscars awards show is set for Sunday, March 15th at 7 p.m. The 2 biggest competitors for Best Picture include One Battle After Another and Sinners, with both films earning praise for their commentaries on racial inequalities and American values. Other contenders include Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, and Hamnet. In contrast to Best Picture predictions, critics believe that the race for Best Actress may already be decided with Jessie Buckley's performance in Hamnet. Although some may have made their predictions, the Academy Awards may still have some surprises in store for us. That's it for entertainment tonight. Thank you.
And when we come back, our World News Minute.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end, so you better buckle in. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
Iran's national soccer team refuses an invitation to the World Cup. Iran will not participate in the World Cup this summer amid the ongoing U.S. and Israeli-led strikes on the nation. The Iran sports minister has said in a statement, "What has happened in the past few months shows that the conditions for our national football team to participate in the World Cup do not exist, and this team will not participate in the upcoming event." This comes as the Iranian women's national soccer team faces uncertainty of participating as well.
Washington state lawmakers passed the millionaire tax, the state's first ever income tax, which will impose a 9.9% tax on those making over $1 million per year, will fund education, prisons, school lunches, and more, Democratic leaders have said. Previous efforts faced from the public have been in opposition with the goals. However, a January poll showed growing support for the idea in the wake of budget woes, federal cuts, and tax cuts. This could spur other states considering similar bills to be approved in their proposals in the future.
President Donald Trump and the Department of Justice is giving back guns to felons in the Federal Register. The DOJ abruptly announced that 22 felons would have their federal gun rights restored. One of these felons, Republican Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman, who was indicted in 2024 for being a fake voter in the 2020 presidential election, was one of many people who thought the 2020 election was rigged and Trump won. Now, we'll send it to Owen with the latest on world news.
Iran releases the first statement from Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei, says an article, as the war is now in its 13th day. In the statement, Iran said that the Strait of Hormuz would remain closed and that attacks would keep happening on U.S. bases in the area. According to Iranian health officials, over 1,300 people have been killed in Iran, while 7 U.S. troops have died, says the Pentagon. Next, 19 people are convicted in Moscow, says an article following a 2024 attack at a city concert hall where 149 people were killed and over 600 were injured. Out of the 19 convicted, 15 were given life sentences, 1 person was sentenced to 22.5 years, and 3 people were each sentenced to 19 years and 11 months. Finally, an online article states that after landslides in southern Ethiopia, at least 50 are dead, while 125 are missing. The communication chief of the Gacho Baba district said that most of the deceased were buried in the mud. I'm Owen Caldwell with the World News Minute. Back to the desk.
Coming up, the latest in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end, so you better buckle in. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
A new effort is underway to revive the healthcare options in Delaware County. Springfield Hospital is being reopened after being closed since 2022. Real estate investor Todd Strine is leading the way, donating $1 million to the cause.
And now, it's time for our newest segment. We'll send it over to the roundtable to hear about the Oscars.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another roundtable episode. And guys, it's Oscar time. This Sunday, the award will be given out for Best Actor, Best Actress, and of course, Best Motion Picture, and many more. But let's start with one of the best awards there is, Best Actor. Who wins?
I honestly think, in my opinion, it's a big toss-up between either Timothée Chalamet or, of course, Michael B. Jordan. They both had really strong presentations in their movies this year. I'm rooting a little bit more for Michael B. Jordan. I really enjoyed Sinners, and I think it's kind of amazing whenever you can play 2 different characters and still make them feel like 2 different people. I think that's pretty amazing in my book.
Yeah, for sure. What about Leonardo DiCaprio? How are you guys feeling about him? I know he's always kind of like a hot pick as well.
Yeah, I feel like he is the hot pick. I feel like every 3 to 5 years he's in the Best Actor. I feel like his name is almost just penciled in every year, and we could just put him in 10 this year. I think he can definitely, and I think he's got a fighting chance, but I'm going to have to give it to Timothée Chalamet for his work in Marge Supreme. I thought he was amazing in Marge Supreme. He really just showed the resiliency and this never give up mentality. And I really, the Timothée Chalamet may rise. Now, I do glaze him a lot, but guys, the rise of Timothée Chalamet is amazing.
I really do feel like sometimes people are either like on the love train for him or obviously like the hate train. It's like either or. I don't know. Like I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan just because I love the Kardashians. I love his little like relationship with Kylie Jenner or whatever. But I'm also a little bit like in between with some of his movies. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of like the Willy Wonka movie and just like different little ones that he's done that I'm just like, don't know about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still campaigning for Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing to do 2 different roles, and that movie was pretty good.
Okay, so you got Michael B. Jordan. I got Timothy Chalamet. Is your official pick-in for Leo?
I think Leo, honestly. I'm still on that train.
All right, now let's go to the actresses. Can we all agree on one, or we got different answers again?
I'm not sure. I'm honestly in between Kate Hudson and Emma Stone. I just feel like they've always been big names, big actresses. I personally have like a soft spot for Emma Stone just because I've loved her in like 2010s movies. I really liked Easy A, but I've like seen a transformation with her, and like I feel like she can really change up the role she's taking. I love the diverse role she's taking, and I really hope that she does snag the win, but I honestly am kind of thinking Kate Hudson is going to, just because her name's been out there all the time. People have really been talking about her a lot. And she also is doing a lot of different diverse roles too.
All right, I'm also gonna have to go with Kate Hudson. That's my pick. 3 for 3.
I'm not sure. I think I have the same soft spot for Emma Hudson. I've seen a lot of her movies, and I like seeing an actress go from playing like maybe more comical roles and it being a little bit more serious and kind of moving in between. I think that's the mark of a really good actress, especially in today's age.
All right, guys, before we go, let's do a rapid fire for Best Motion Picture. I'm gonna go with Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme, I can't lie. This is out of the Oscar nominations, but I love The Housemaid, and I wish The Housemaid got some recognition, because honestly, it was such a great movie.
All right.
I think we already know. I'm vying for Sinners.
All right, we're all going for different ones for Best Picture, but thank you guys for watching the Roundtable Oscars edition. See you guys next time.
And now over to Jackson for sports.
All right, let's get into the latest with sports news from across the country and actually the globe. Iran will not be participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup this year in Los Angeles after concerns as well as President Donald Trump's recommendation for them not to attend. The Iranian sports ministers said that they will not be attending following airstrikes in Iran by the United States and Israel. President Trump said that the country's athletes were welcome to participate at the game. However, he advised against their attendance for fears of their life and safety. The NHL is going easy on the Ottawa Senators after originally making the team forfeit their first-round draft pick in the upcoming 2026 draft in June. Originally, because Ottawa failed to mention trade protections for winger Evgeny Dadonov to the Vegas Knights, a 2022 trade from the Knights to the Anaheim Ducks was canceled. Dadonov's contract that he signed with Ottawa in 2020 had a clause saying that he could not be traded without first submitting a 10-team no-trade list. Anaheim was featured on this list, however, Vegas was unaware of this clause. The NHL decided to forgo the violation they imposed on the Senators because of changes in leadership over the past few years. The NHL believes that the current team should not have to pay for the sins of the past regime. And rounding us off, Ed rusher Max Crosby has confirmed he is staying with the Las Vegas Raiders after the Baltimore Ravens cut off a deal to have him return to the team. This news comes just days after he made an emotional farewell message to the Raiders, after the Ravens traded him from the Raiders for 2 first-round picks. The Raiders announced that the Ravens backed out of the deal because of medical concerns surrounding Crosby's recent surgery in January for a torn meniscus in his left knee. CJ LeBoy, Crosby's agent, has said that he is ahead of schedule for recovery and is on track to return for the offseason program. That is all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson. Let's take a look at your weather forecast for Glassboro. Well, we told you it was coming, and come it did. Tonight, this snow will turn into rain with occasional showers and some wind. Temperatures will drop to a low of 27 degrees overnight. Now here's a look at the rest of the forecast. On Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 52 and a low of 41. Saturday, partly sunny with gusty winds, a high of 55 and a low of 34. Sunday, it's going to be cloudy early with some clearing later in the day, a high of 54 with a low of 48. Monday, windy with low clouds early, high of 59, overnight low of 31. And on Tuesday, believe it or not, there's a chance of morning rain or snow. Then it'll get partly cloudy with a high of 49 and a low of 34. And that's your 5-day outlook for Glassboro. That snow has made a return.
All right. And that concludes the National Rundown. I'm Alex Cruz.
And I'm Stephen Wilczynski.
Signing off.